Okay, welcome to Ric's Corner. I have Denise Masino back, and we have various subjects to talk about, and I asked her to bring something she'd like to talk about, so we're going to get into it and talk for a few minutes about it, and I'm going to let you open up with what you want to talk about.
Well, the topic is muscle and sex.
Okay, they go together?
Yeah, they do, and you know, the thing about it is that I think a lot of people don't necessarily see the connection. Well, my experience in my career was that they don't go together. You know, in this case, we're talking about sport and sex, or sport and entertainment, which is what they are. And you know, sport is big entertainment.
Sure.
And the way I started sort of bringing those things together was that there was a real need to showcase women's bodybuilders as beautiful, sexy, and even commercially viable.
Okay.
So that's how I got involved in publishing my magazine, Muscle Elegance.
Okay, and tell me how you got into it, where it led.
Well, when I turned pro, which was in the mid to late 90s, you know, I was this aspiring athlete who was looking at Flex magazine, and back then they were doing the power and sizzle spreads, and they were photographed by Bill Dobbins and Robert Reeve, who were amazing photographers.
I think Bill Dobbins still is.
Still are.
Yeah,
still are. And the spreads were no nudes, semi-nude shots of women bodybuilders. Okay. And they were Playboy-esque without full frontal nudity. Right. And I looked at these women, and to me they were art, and they are art. I mean, the body, the lines. And so, you know, I aspired to be that person. I aspired to be that model and to shoot with these great photographers. I mean, coming to, you know, California and doing that was what I wanted to do. But what I learned quickly when I turned pro was that the magazines were no longer going to be covering women's bodybuilders in these features. They were turning their attention more towards the fitness athletes.
Yeah, that's the way it's been going.
And that disappointed me. And of course, the question I had was why? Because these women were amazing, and I knew that these were popular. They had centerfolds, they had posters. Sure. So it was a huge disappointment. And what came out of discussions with people who were involved with the magazine was that women bodybuilders were just not marketable. They weren't as marketable as fitness women. And I thought that was bullshit. I knew it was bullshit because it was because of those women that I was pursuing women's bodybuilding. Right. It was those women.
But do you think, I mean, I like it too. I mean, it is what it is. But do you think that a number of people are turned off by the women becoming so big that they look like men?
Well, I think there's no question about that, and you know that I think that's also why there have been great photographers who have said to me, "You can't look at women athletes, women bodybuilders in particular, and fetishize them or eroticize them. You can't do that. They're opposites. They don't go together." To which I said, that's bullshit, you know, because I know the attention that I get when I walk around. Right. And even if people are ambivalent or they're not quite sure how they feel about it, it's really powerful, and you sort of have to look. And when you see a female athlete, you know it because the shape of her legs, her posture, everything about her, even the swagger.
But you get great responses.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, really positive responses all the way down the line.
I do, but I also get negative responses.
Do you?
I do, and you know, it's funny because with all the positive responses that I've always gotten my entire career, I've also gotten my fair share of negative responses. And so my assumption is that people are not necessarily going to like my look. And I don't know why I do that. I think it's a situation where you can get 1,000 compliments and one person says, "Oh, you suck," and that's the only person you think about.
That's the one you focus on.
That's the one you focus on. Yeah. And so I don't assume that people are going to get it, that people are going to like the fact that, you know, my arms are big and my veins are popping out. I assume that they're not going to get it, that I'm intimidating to them, and I know I am.
Yeah, but you also, it's not just you, and it's not just bodybuilding. If you look at YouTube and you look at other different YouTubes, there's what they call haters, and you guys, all you people know who they are. You can do a million positive things, and you'll find one person sitting at home on his computer saying, "You're a piece of shit. I don't like this," and blah blah blah. Because he's an immature, insecure little person that has nothing better to do than to type out hateful things and never get caught. And it happens all the time. Somebody publicized on Facebook, the guy lives in Africa, some young guy that trains with basically any weight he can find and made his own stuff, and he looks phenomenal. And some guy put him down, he's always on roids, he's this and that. The guy doesn't even have money to buy food, he makes his own food in little bowls. So there was one person that hated him for whatever reason, because he's insecure and he's finding fault with the guy that's done well with himself.
Right.
And it's sad to see that, but that's the way the world has become. And that's what you pick up on. You say, what's wrong with these people?
Right, and you can't help but fixate on that. I think because we all want to be liked, we all want to be appreciated.
Right.
I think that's human. It's really interesting to me. I think that what me and my partners did, because it's not just me. I have two partners who are amazing. Robert Masino, who's a founding partner at Muscle Elegance, and Barbara. We poured everything into trying to present, because presentation is important.
Totally.
Perception is partly based on presentation.
Right.
And so we knew that. So, people were thinking about women's bodybuilding, and immediately what they were thinking about was these emaciated figures that were really, really hard, really, really lean on stage, stressed out on stage. And so that's kind of grotesque to the average person. But they weren't thinking about women bodybuilders or these athletes the rest of the year, when they were a little more filled out, when they were not at 4 or 5% body fat, but at like 8, 9, 10.
A little more rounded out, softer.
Right, softer and healthier, literally much healthier, and so the face is fuller and they're more beautiful.
Right.
And we knew, okay, well, we have to show the world, if we can, that these women are really pretty amazing. And that's what we set out to do. And we knew that stars are not born, stars are made.
Exactly.
And if you look at a Playboy model, or you look at any other person that's on television, there's makeup and there's lights and there's wardrobe.
Sure.
There are all these things that go into a presentation.
Right.
Sort of the marketing of this look and this concept. And so we threw everything in. I mean, everything. We had professional hair, makeup, lighting, whatever. And the most rewarding thing for me was to watch these female athletes see themselves that way too, because bodybuilders get beat up a lot, especially women.
Sure.
The general public doesn't know what to think of you. You're different, so you're automatically somehow a threat, I think, because different, I don't understand it, so I'm insecure about it. Not necessarily because I like it, nor it makes me feel insecure on some level, but maybe that is what's going on.
Yeah, it's the same with the guys years ago. Before they were kind of a novelty, and people see them on the street and say, "Oh, look at those guys! The bodybuilders, they're huge." Oh, they were turned off by it. And then it became more, welcomed in homes. Everybody's starting training. Everybody's getting in shape and has abs.
Yeah.
Years ago, nobody had them.
Yeah.
But you're true about presentation. My daughter's a photographer, and she shoots models, and I see when they come over here what they look like. They're 17, 18 years old with no makeup, look like little sticks. By the time she photographs them, they look like they're 24 and gorgeous.
Exactly.
And presentation, it's going to make you laugh. Presentation on a menu, when you go to eat, you read the menu and you say, okay, I don't know what I want, I don't even know how that looks. And I asked the guy at the restaurant, do you have a menu with pictures?
Yeah.
He says, no, this isn't a Chinese restaurant. But there you can see what you're getting anyway. So presentation on anything you do is important.
It is. It's absolutely important.
Right.
And I've always found, because there's this question about whether or not it's appropriate, Sex is so scandalous.
Yeah.
We all do it. We
Yeah.
all like it.
Yeah.
We have to do it because we wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't.
Well, it's part of our cardio.
It's part of our cardio. It releases stress.
It does.
So I'm actually very good for you, by the way. But it's scandalous.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if it's a biblical thing or I don't know what it is. But
Yeah.
it does feel like a means of control on some level. And it's really, really interesting for me. I think I could write my own 50 Shades of Grey book with respects to this, because I have fans who started following me 15 years ago when I was literally in my infancy. I was like 5 or something.
Yeah.
But who have grown up with me as I have even pushed the envelope with my own productions and explored, what it is to be a woman and sexuality, and had open discussions with my fans. And the thing about my fans, or the fans of women's bodybuilding, and I think female athletes in general, is that they love strong women.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do, because my fans have this great appreciation and adoration for sort of this independent, strong woman.
Yeah, I understand that.
Physically and obviously mentally.
I have somebody like that in my life.
Yes. So
and
it makes you weak in the knees.
I admire it totally. I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's the best.
It is.
And I've learned from it.
Yeah. So. And that's the best relationship. And so I appreciate my fans, immensely. And, my fans have shared a lot of private, personal thoughts and ideas and fantasies, to which, for me as a woman, because I don't think women think the same way that men do. We don't.
Well, there's no question about it.
We're so different. But it's really been eye-opening and interesting. And from time to time, because there are people who I think look at me and they're like, that's a little scandalous, and judgmental.
Judgmental, yeah.
I get it. It's normal. I try not to be that, because I get so much of that I think it makes me the person that doesn't do that.
You come off just the opposite.
Yeah, because I know what it's like to be judged because I'm a bodybuilder, because of muscle pin-ups, because of my websites. That I don't do that, because the cover of the book is not the story, and but it's really, really interesting for me that think about my life had I not done what I did, had we not gone Playboy and pushed it a little bit more with these women athletes, this is sort of somewhat scandalous concept. What would I be doing, and how would my life be? And
you don't know.
I think it would be so boring.
There's a book out years ago that someone told me called The Road Not Taken. And that's exactly what that is. You take a road in life and you follow that road. There's another road and you never took it. So you don't know what is at the end of it.
That's true.
You just don't know. And you can't go back and take it. And you don't know how somebody feels until you walk in their shoes too, because everybody has different feelings and emotions. And someone says, I feel this, and I know how you feel. No, I don't, because I've never walked in your shoes and know how you really feel.
Right.
And like I told you, there's days when my knee is just killing me and says, that's too bad, it probably hurts. You have no idea how much it hurts, because you're not walking in my shoes.
That's right.
So,
I love that. The road not taken.
Road not taken. There's a lot of them out here.
Yeah, it's a really great concept, because it's all of our realities. I don't know what your life is.
I moved here from Bakersfield in 1969. I was a guitar player in a band. I played for Capitol Records, and I won a battle of bands, played in Vegas. I thought music's going to be it. And I made a left turn into pro wrestling and bodybuilding and moved here, which was a new road for me.
Yeah.
I didn't stay in town and follow that road and do what those guys did, selling cars and working oil fields, which they're doing today. I found a different road, and that road just opened up everything. Had I stayed, I wouldn't have known any of this at all. So this was subconsciously what I picked to do.
Yeah, definitely. And your life is so rich because of it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop here.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still growing.
Yeah. You grow till you die, and you can still grow. Even after that, your fingernails and hair still grow.
Right.
That's what they say. I don't know about my hair.
But the other thing is that you made your own path too.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. There's sidewalks and there's streets and that are designed for us to follow. There are paths that are created for us, and we can choose to do that, or we can sort of imagine a different path for ourselves. And
I have friends. You have friends that really probably hate their jobs and what they do, and all they do is complain. Years after years, I just hate this. And I hate. You don't have to hate your job. You find something that you love, that you're passionate for, and you go for it. You make it work. Yeah, you're going to have little roadblocks, but you can get by those roadblocks. Eventually, you find a way, and it opens up, and then something else opens up. My life's always been like that. Always new doors opening, and I walk through them. I don't sit back and say, I'm afraid to.
Right.
You've got to walk through them.
Right.
And it's the same thing with women's bodybuilding. I mean, I admire what they put into that, and they look better than most guys. And they train hard, and they get a lot of crap for it, but they keep going, and they do what they got to do, and the end result pays off.
Yeah.
Because they stuck with it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a choice to live a life in a very individual way.
Yeah.
It's a sort of your signature. This is who I am. And the thing is that you gotta find a way to own it. And I think even for me, my goal in life is to have complete ownership of who I am, what I've done, you know, good, bad, indifferent, mistakes, screw ups, you know, ownership, you know, 100%.
I have that, and I'll tell you why. When my mom passed away, she gave me my birth certificate and the ownership rights that she had for me, so now I own myself.
Now you own yourself.
Now I know who I am, and I got the rights to it. I'm not selling them to anybody. But you do live a kind of lonely life at times in bodybuilding and pro wrestling, which I choose, because no one ever went that way in my life growing up. Why would you want to do that? And why don't you get a regular job and do this and a normal job? And why do you have to go to the gym all the time? Why can't you just, you know, stay in shape? Because this is what we chose to do.
Yeah.
And the more they said, the more I pushed the other way. Because I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
I don't resent it, do you?
I don't, and I have, you know, I've had moments where, you know, religious people or, you know, conservative people or, you know, whatever, who, you know, people say to me, what do you do? Like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, how much time do you have?
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, so I produce this adult entertainment. I'm an adult entertainer. It's part of what I do. It's such a, you know, it's a part of it. But how do I explain all these different roles that I play in my life? And I can't. It's not like somebody who says, well, I'm an accountant, you know, or I'm a hairstylist, or...
There's one answer for you. No, I have one answer for you. And you. Someone says, what do you do for a living? Google me.
Okay, Google.
It's all there.
Well, but even that I have to explain. I'm like, by the way, you know, so it's complicated. It's complicated because people will have no choice but to judge based on what they see, which is not appropriate.
Right, without explanation.
Right, so it gets complicated, and I've thought about, okay, well, what if I stayed in commercial real estate management, which is what I did in a former life and before I started competing as a bodybuilder? What if I was so good in that corporate role? You know, and the few times that I've been in a corporate life, I was a good company person.
Yeah.
But what if? And when I think about that, and I think about all the people in my life, all the amazing people, you, with all these incredible lives who are doing things, I think, fuck no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this may not be perfect 100% of the time, but what is, and I can't imagine my life without the people that I've met. You know, I know people from Australia and Japan. I've never met, but I know them. You know, thank God for the internet.
But the thing with real estate is, when I was younger, I took some advice of a realtor, and he said, get a lot while you're young. And I thought, what does he mean? So he actually meant investing in property, right? I thought he meant something else, so I went out as many women as I could.
Oh.
I got a lot.
He was going to say something else.
I got a lot.
You never know what he's going to say.
Yeah, right. I got a lot, so that was cool. All right, so if they want to find out more about you and about your magazine, where can they do that?
Google me.
Yeah, Google me.
So my website, I have a personality website.
Okay. For
the diehard Denise Masino fans. Okay. I love you.
Okay.
It's denisemasino.com, and it is adult.
Okay.
And
so I can't go on?
No, you're too young. Far too young. And then we have a multi-girl site that came out of Muscle Elegance magazine, which is a Playboy format magazine featuring women bodybuilders. It's musclepinups.com.
Okay. So, I'll put that up on the screen so you guys can see it and click on it.
Thank you.
Well, we ran out of time. Boy, did we talk a long time.
He talks a lot.
No, I just listened today. I appreciate you coming back, and we'll do some more as time goes on. I know you're really busy. You're all over the map right now.
Yeah.
So you gave me a half hour of your time, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate the opportunity. It's always fun to talk to you. It's easy.
I love talking to me.
Yeah.
When I'm alone, I talk to myself all day. I just talk to myself. I drive up, and the thing is, with me, I'm always with me, so I always know what I want to do, and there's never an argument. Rick, where do you want to go? Let's go. Come on.
Everybody has an argument. There's
not with myself.
Some internal battle.
The only internal battle is what I'm going to wear in the morning. I'll pick a shirt out, and I'll say, no, you don't like that. I better wear this one. So anyway, thank you guys for watching Rick's Corner, and thank Denise for being on here, and we'll have more. And stay tuned for more Rick's Corner. I'm going to bring you a new one every week, sometimes two. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's RicDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.